It's cold as balls in Eastern Canada, but it won't stop us. We're playing Halo on this thing today. Cue the fucking ducks. So welcome back to the Jank. Today is starting to smell pretty good here. The fragrance of Jank is congealing into success. I'm so fucking confident that we're going to be playing games on this thing that I brought in Seamus Blackley here as a witness to the rebirth of this Xbox. So I went back in the closet and re-emerged with a bunch of ancient IDE drives that I've had for many, many years, the contents of which shall remain forever lost to time for several reasons, most of them starting with the letter P. Now, I scanned them all with MHDD, and every single one of them came out about as healthy and clean as my colon a couple of days ago after a doctor shoved a lubed up camera 2.5 feet up my ass. So we have a 10 gigabyte Quantum Fireball CX, a true classic, and we have 40 and 80 gig Western Digitals, the cream of the crop. This is the original Seagate from this Xbox. It's done for, broken. Eventually, I would like the 40 gig to end up in this machine, but we're going to start experimenting with the 10 gig, because if we fuck it up, it's just 10 gig, it doesn't matter. The 80 gig I will probably keep for myself and put in my own Xbox, because it's big and size matters. So what we're about to do here is what is known as a soft mod, for software modification. No soldering, no mod chips, none of that shit. We're going to take one of these 3 hard drives, probably our cheaper Quantum Fireball 10 gig here. All of these are IDE, which means they have this old connector here, which is known as IDE. And we're going to make our OG Xbox like this hard drive enough to use it as if it was retail. Let's say this is our hard drive here, and this is our Xbox right here. So old computers, mostly from the 80s and 90s, used file systems known as FAT and FAT32 for file allocation tables. Your modern computer is using NTFS. The original Xbox used a file system known as FATX. So in order for the hard drive here to be used with the Xbox, it needs to be formatted to FATX. It also needs to be locked to this specific Xbox using our EEPROM. This is why we extracted it in episodes 2 and 3. So let's put a little padlock here. But even if we had both of these things, there would be no software on the hard drive itself, which is why we need to put a dashboard and the architecture to save our games. This is called your C partition and your E partition. So the C partition contains the dashboard, basically your Xbox operating system, and the E partition contains all of your saves. And all of this stuff can be done using a program called Fat Explorer, which is what I'm going to be using today. Fat Explorer cannot extract your EEPROM from the Xbox. This is what we did ourselves. But you can use the resulting file to lock your hard drive to your Xbox so that this procedure works. We're going to be formatting our 10 gigabyte Quantum Fireball to FATX, and then we're going to be copying the dashboard and save architecture. And once that's done, we're going to lock it to our specific Xbox, and then we're going to be able to use it as if it was a retail. That was the simplest way that I found to do it. And in order to find all of the files that we needed to put on the Xbox, all I really did was Google OG Xbox partitions and downloaded the latest version of the dashboard that someone kindly put on a forum. And I'm assuming it's going to be fine, right? Let's get to it. All right, so let's get this party started before we lose control of our bodies and souls. That's our 10 gig. We're going to shut this thing down and we're going to plug it in. Well, I know a lot of people are using IDE to USB adapters for this, but since... Oh, Jesus. So I know a lot of people are using IDE to USB adapters for this, but since we have an old-ass computer with native IDE, I don't think we're going to need that. And so here we are, all booted up like big boys. This is our hard drive here. It is currently a fully functional Windows drive. I have formatted it, I believe, and we're about to make this an Xbox hard drive, hopefully by using Fat Explorer. So formatting tools, original Xbox HDD for sure. Here's our quantum fireball. That's looking good so far. This is what we're going to be using. I guess some devices aren't listed. What? Oh yeah, of course, because this is where Windows is, so it's not showing it up. Great. So next, we're going to choose LBA increasing BIOS, even though this is a 10 gig and it's very similar to whatever size the original Xbox hard drive had. This is still what I'm going to do with the 40 gigs, so I want to make sure it works. So we're going to select that. And so we have our save game partition of 4 gigs. The shell partition with the dashboard is going to be 500 megs, which is fine actually. 167 megs. Yeah, that's fine. This is the C drive files that we're going to copy once we're done. So yeah. And then extra partition for homebrew emulators and other tools. I guess 2 gigs is fine. If I wanted to, by the way, I could double click on this and, change a couple of settings, including the size, but I'm going to leave that all with default settings for now. Next. And, oh, I can preload items. Okay, so this is where we're going to specify where our hard drive files are going to be. So let's start with the C drive. So we're going to browse, Xbox tools, partitions rather, and C. Great. Oh, this is great. All right, so E, and we're going to browse again for our E drive. Yeah, you want to be careful about how long your names are and the length of the path. On older file systems, you have some limitations there. And let's go next. This is great. It's not going to be a quick format because I want the whole thing to be wiped and formatted properly. So let's go. Okay, so the formatting is done. We're now preloading our dashboard and save file architecture. Oh, those are the sounds of the dashboard in WAV format. Oh, this is great. This is cool. My device is now ready to use. This is amazing. All right, so okay. So I'm guessing now it's going to show up in devices, right? It does. So, okay, what if I select it? All right, so that makes sense actually. Because this is a file system for the Xbox, you have to mount it as a virtual drive. Continue my trial so that Windows can browse it, and it's going to mount it as X. So this is the C drive of our newly created Xbox hard drive that's being translated by Fat Explorer in a file system that Windows can understand so that we can browse it. So basically, if I didn't preload the dashboard files and everything, I could just come here, get the contents of my C drive and copy it over this way. But I don't need to do that because we preloaded it. Fine. So the only thing we need to do now is lock it using our EEPROM key, and that should work. Oh, yep, sure. We need to unmount. There you go. Quantum Firewall is still in use. The files and folders are still open in other programs. Are they now? They're not. Unmount anyway. I'm curious about one thing though. If we go into the device manager, yep. So interestingly enough, Windows is aware that there is another drive plugged in, but it cannot use it as a storage device because the file system is FATX and not NTFS or FAT32. Fascinating behavior. All right, so let's lock this bitch up and put it in the Xbox. This is suspiciously easy so far. I'm loving it. Oh, failed to check the status. Yeah, smart. Yeah, okay. I don't think I ran it as an administrator last time, so let's see if that changes. Actually, I've read quite a few places that you should be running this thing as an administrator all the time. Let me reboot this piece of shit. So I haven't even tried yet, but it looks like we're going to have the same problem here. Yeah, okay. So I've rebooted. Nothing that I've tried worked. I've tried every jumper position. I've changed a bunch of BIOS settings. I have no idea what's going on. Plenty of people have had this problem. Some of them managed to solve it. Some of them did not. This is fucking annoying. And so we're going to see if we have better luck with another drive. Let's try the 40 gig. So here we are back online because nothing ever fucking worked. Back into Fat Explorer. All right, formatting tools. That's the right drive. Perfect. Next. LBA increasing. That's perfect. 4 gigs is rather small, and I don't think I'll ever use 30 gigs for homebrew stuff. I'm going to keep F at 20 gigs. And so I'm going to bump this one to 14. Yeah, sure. That seems good to me. And so let's preload again. I like that. Perfect. All right, let's go then. So another one done. We've been here before. Okay, so this is all looking good. Let's try to lock it now. What now? Device is frozen. What the fuck is this? Power cycle the device by reconnecting it or put your computer to sleep and wake it back up. Let's try that. I just heard the hard drive click. So this thing is definitely powered down, but you can see here. So we're in sleep mode. So let's wake this motherfucker back up. There you go. That just powered right back up. Frozen again. Or still. I'm guessing frozen still. Let's reboot. Oh my god, dude. All right, let's go see what the internet thinks of this. All right, so I guess you learn something new every day. So the BIOS of the computer is detecting our hard drive, and then it's telling Windows to freeze it because it doesn't understand what it is. And it's a security measure that I had no idea even existed that makes it so that viruses cannot lock you out of your own files because the BIOS is going to have taken care of that first. And this is, throughout the boot sequence. So as the computer is booting, this is what happens. I have tried looking for settings in the BIOS, didn't find anything. I tried power cycling it every which way I could think of. I tried power cycling it while the computer was asleep. I tried fucking everything. I tried booting up Windows in safe mode. Nothing works. So I'm starting to understand now why people are using USB adapters to do this. Because since this fucking problem happens during the boot sequence, if Windows is already up and running, your BIOS is not going to have a chance to tell Windows to freeze it up. So you're taking an old hard drive and fooling Windows into thinking that it's a USB flash drive by using an adapter, which is something that the IDE connector standard was never designed to do. The problem now being, of course, I don't own a fucking USB to IDE to whatever the fuck adapter, and I don't want to order one and have to wait for that shit. So I'm going to roll the fucking dice and hit Facebook Marketplace, and I'm either going to find one of these fucking things tonight or get stabbed in a dark alley in a really sketchy part of town. I mean, damn. Seamus has really been watching over me on this one. What an adventure. So this is the thing. So you have your, I guess, 80 pin, your SATA, and your regular 40 pin connectors onto a USB device. And it also comes with a power converter, I guess, or power adapter that I would be using if the PC didn't have Molex built in. So I don't think we're going to be needing this. So let's unplug this thing. Well, this doesn't feel great, but I guess it's kind of Chinesian type stuff. Yeah, looks like we're in. We're going to plug our power back in. I'm not going to plug it in for now. We're going to power this thing up. And once the computer is booted up, we're going to plug into the USB and see if we have better luck. All right, so I'm going to plug the hard drive now. And I'm assuming it's going to come up as a USB storage device. Yep, USB device. All right, so let's see what Fat Explorer thinks about this. Here we go. For $5 and a sip of gas, it was worth risking my life on Facebook Marketplace for this. Is it not detecting it? That would be tragic. Yes, it is. Okay. So yeah, we're moving right along. So we haven't flashed the EEPROM from the Xbox, which means we're not using a zeroed hard drive key or a one-filled hard drive key. What we are doing, however, is we're going to load this password from our EEPROM. I have my bin files, the one that I got from the 64-bit version of Pony Prog and the regular one. So let's just go with the regular one. That looks good. I have this or either a SATA IDE connection. I mean, sure, yeah. Please fucking work. Okay, yeah. Until it's power cycled. So yeah, sure. Will automatically unlock the HDD when it detects it in the future. Yeah, sure. Why not? Why not? So, oh my God. Okay. Holy fuck. So I guess we shut that down and put it in the Xbox. Before we put that thing in, we're going to switch our jumper back to cable select because I remember the original Xbox hard drive being on cable select right here. There you go. Let's put it in. Has this been a colossal waste of time? Let's find out. Oh yeah, the breakers. Okay, the Microsoft logo was pretty fast this time. Good Lord, this is looking pretty good. Come on now. This is legit. This is totally fucking working. 5960. So that's the latest version. I was gaming on this hard drive back when I was in college. And now it's powering this fucking Xbox that was broken like a month ago. Mind-blowing stuff. Holy shit. Alright, let's save a profile and see. If it's gonna fuck up, it's now. It works. The only thing left now is gonna be to change the bulging capacitors, and we're totally rocking. Look at this thing go. I don't know what else I can do to make sure this works any better than this. We have brought this Xbox back to life using a hard drive that was probably in my Pentium 3. I probably played Duke Nukem 3D on this thing. And so there you have it. This thing was dead and now it's alive. So the only thing left to do on this to make it absolutely bulletproof, I mean as bulletproof as this hard drive is gonna be, is now we're gonna have to replace the bulging capacitors and remove the clock capacitor. And this is gonna be a super solid machine brought back from the dead. And before we close shop here, I would just like to add, people like you and me have contributed to give the internet the value that it has. If you're watching this and you're enjoying this, thank you so much for being here. Keep the internet human, and see you next time.